that may affect enterprise risk refers to any uncertainty that may affect the achievement of an organization's objectives among various enterprise risk, technology risk, and business strategy risk are critical in today's competitive and digital business environment. First is technology risk, meaning technology risk is the risk of loss or failure arising from dependence on information systems, technological obsolescence, cyber threats, system failures, inadequate technology infrastructure. It arises when technology does not support business objectives effectively. Technology risk in risk management refers to the potential for losses or disruptions caused by failures, vulnerability, or misuse of information technology systems, processes, or infrastructure. It is subset of operational risk and include threats like cyber attacks, system outages, data breaches, and compliance failures. Its definition about a technology risk: any risk arising from the use of technology that can negatively impact business operations, financial performance, or reputation. It is often considered a subset of operational risk since it directly affects an organization's ability to function. Key types of technology risk. First, cyber security threats, hacking, phishing, malware, ransomware, and unauthorized access. These types of cyber threats are always dangerous. Cyber attacks are essentially digital break in where someone tries to assess damage or disrupt your computer system and data. They range from mass email scams to highly sophisticated hits on major corporations. You may know about the mails, spam mails, always on our personal mail. Few of them are social mails or marketing mails. They are hammering that mails again and again. Okay, out of that, few may be cyber security risk mails. Okay, which can hamper your data. If there are few files, APK files available, and you just clicked on that file, your computer maybe get infected and your PC will not work due to that APK files. Here, breakdowns of the most common type you will encounter today. First, social engineering and phishing. This is the human hack. Instead of finding a bug in software, the attacker trick a person into giving a password or clicking a bad link. Okay, mean just I have given you the answer of APK files, which always come on mails and also on your WhatsApp messages. So be serious. Don't click on any link because it will totally make empty your account balance. Phishing, mass emails disguised as legitimate sources like your bank or Netflix. Spear phishing, highly targeted attack aimed at a specific person or organization. Whaling means going after the big fish like a CEO or CFO. Second, malware or malicious software which can hamper your total hardware. This is an umbrella term for any software designer to cause damage. Ransomware encrypts your files and demands a ransom payment to unlock them. Means you have entered or you have a many important data of your organizations, and due to ransomware someone locked your data. What will be happen? You cannot generate any types of report, okay, which will be demanded by your consumer or customers or your stakeholders or shareholders, okay. The other side, the hacker will demand you a huge amount, that you must have to pay that amount to unlock your system, okay. Trojans, this is one type of virus. Do you know about a full form of virus? It's a vital information. This gives itself a helpful software like a free utility, but contains a hidden virus. Spyware secretly monitors your keystrokes and webcam to steal credentially. Means your webcam is hacked. What will be happen? It can read your eyes or your face reading. Okay. So I request you that do not shake your hand or do not show your palm in the social sites, because they read your thumb impressions and your account will be totally zero. Types of malwares, that is scareware, spyware, virus, adware, trojan, and worm. Third, injection and web-based attacks. This exploit vulnerability in how websites and databases communicate. SQL injections. SQL means structured query language. It is a data storage system called as backup system or needed, just like Oracle. Oracle also a database system used for backend system. An attacker injects malicious code into a website's search bar or login field to trick the database into revealing all its secret data. Cross-site scripting, XSS, injecting malicious scripts into a trusted website that then run in the browser of an unsuspecting visitor. Fourth, network and infrastructure attacks. This focus on crashing system or intercepting data as it travels. DDoS means distributed denial of services. Denial of services means overwhelming a website with no so much fake traffic from thousands of computers that is crashed and becomes unavailable to real users. Means you cannot use your internet browser because of network traffic due to the denial of service attack. Man in the middle thinks of this as a digital eavesdropping. The attacker sits between you and the website you are visiting, often via unsecured public Wi-Fi, to steal your data as you send it. So it is always requested every person that you must have to secure your Wi-Fi system, mobile Wi-Fi system, and switch off the Wi-Fi at the time of night. When you go to sleep, password attack. Attackers used various methods to bypass the front door of an account. Brute force, using software to guess every possible password combination until it gets it right. Credential stuffing, taking a list of usernames and password leaked from one site and trying them on dozens of others. Reusing password is the big risk here. Every Indian always use common password. That is ABCDEFG or 11111 or 123456 7 or 0000 or 0007. These types of common password you should not have to use. You should have to use a unique password with combination upon of alphabets, special symbols, and numericals. In alphabets, you must have to use toggle systems or caps on, caps on, and off system means few letters in small cap and few letters in case. Okay, means you should have a knowledge about how to make a strong password and always change your password after a period of 3 months. System failures, hardware breakdowns, software bugs, or network outages. Okay, once if you go to your office and trying to start your PC, what will happen? Your PC is not getting started. Will you work? No, you cannot work without to start your PC. So you have to call the engineer, IT engineer. Okay, he will check what's happened in your computer, where there is a problem of RAM, okay, or power cord problem. So he will resolve that problem and you can start your work after the PC is on. Software bugs means it's one types of viruses. Okay, means it creates another different files and more files. So you will be jumble that which file should have to use and which file should not have to use. Okay, network outages. If you have the PC but your network is not working, so that time also you cannot work with your organization's ERP model or MIS systems. Data risk, breaches, leaks, corruptions, or loss of sensitive information. Okay, means every data of our organization is the property of the organizations. So you are the employee of your organizations and you have also the authority to keep secured the entire organization's data. It not be leaked outside of the company from your PC. So what care you should have to take when you will leave your PC, okay, for uh, any purpose to visit your manager or to submit any file to your senior, your colleague. When you leave your PC, you should have to keep that PC on log off mode. For that, you should have to use a shortcut key on your computer. That is Windows L. Okay, means after you, no one will use that your PC, because if you will left your PC in that company and with your logins, your credential. Someone will send any types of file from your mail, okay, to rivalry companies or competitive companies. And what will be happen? That will be that risk will be totally on you. You will be responsible or liable. Okay. Compliance risk: failure to meet regulatory requirements such as GDPR, HIPAA, or financial reporting standards. Third party risk: vulnerability introduced by vendors, cloud providers, or outside IT services. Role in risk management: technology risk management involves identification, means recognizing IT related risks across system applications and processes. Assessment: measuring the likelihood and impact of risk. Mitigation: implementing control such as firewalls, encryptions, redundancy, and disaster recovery plans. What is firewall? Firewall is a system which protect your data to go outside and protect your PC to insert data which is sent from outside. Okay, there are two types of firewalls. One is software firewall and another is hardware firewall. Software firewall is a system software which will be used to protect your data, and uh, hardware systems means it will be a gadget set in your CPU, central processing unit, and it will save your data to insert outside information into your PC without your permission. Okay, so these two types of firewalls are there. And redundancy means you have made a copy and pasted files. There are number of files of a single file. Okay, it will create redundancy of data. Okay, so you should have aware with the help of proper folder system. Okay, year wise folder system. Okay, you can maintain a financial year wise folder. In that you can bifurcate all the work as per their department. Okay, it is in totally your hand how to manage that data with folder system. Folder is like a bag where you keep files and disaster recovery plans. Suppose if the CPU or server PC hard, hard disk got damaged, what will be happen? Your data will be lost. Okay, and that's why no one can work in your organization. So what you have to do, you have to send your hard disk to few software experts or hardware experts. They can try to recover your data from that failed hard disk. Okay, there are master person in India and they are able to recover your data. Monitoring, continuously tracking systems and updating defense against evolving threats. Examples: a bank's online system outage, preventing customers from accessing account. Okay, before 2 decades, I have given you example about every bank were using DOS-based software. Okay, and today is available Windows software. So, what is the difference between these DOS-based softwares and Windows-based softwares? In the banking world, the shift from DOS, disk operating system, to Windows wasn't just a visual upgrade. It was a fundamental shift in how banks handle data, security, and multitasking. While many legacy banking systems still have DOS like green text interfaces, often actually mainframe emulators. I have given you example on yesterday's sessions that yet few companies are using that mainframe computer, P4 computer, that is DOS environment. The underlying differences are significant. What are the difference between DOS-based banking software and Windows-based banking software? First is interface. In DOS, character-based text only, no mouse support. And Windows, graphical user interface means GUI, icons, menus, and which is always operated with the help of mouse. Multitasking system. In DOS, single tasking, one screen transaction at a time. You cannot jump from one screen to another screen, means one window to another window. But in Windows is always multitasking. Open multiple accounts or reports at once. Even you can create a duplicate page of your website. Means you have to take the front data of a website and last data of that website on another page to compare. Okay, hardware. Low requirement runs on very old machines in DOS-based systems and is Windows-based, higher RAM and CPU requirements in that mainframe and P4 systems. The RAM was up to 8 MB, 16 MB, 64 MB. Now it is available in GB. Okay, 8 GB, 10 GB, 12 GB, 16 GB, 32 GB. Okay, so how many speed are taken by the IT sector? Connectivity in DOS system, often dumb terminals connected to a central server. Okay, and in Windows, rich client server or web-based architecture is used. Ease of use in DOS-based, high learning curve requires memorizing commands, means totally command-based system. You need to know all the commands, means dir command for to check all the files, date command to check the dates, md command to make a directory, copycon command to copy files, and different types of internal and external command environment was there. But in Windows, low learning curve, initiative and visual, totally visualize the, you need not to keep that command into your mind. Even you can click right click of the mouse, which gives options of commands, copy, cut, paste, undo, redo, move, property, and of others. DOS operators must memorize shortcode commands, that is typing TXN102 to start a deposit. It is incredibly fast for power users who know the codes by heart, but intimidating for new staff. And Windows uses buttons and drop downs. This reduces input errors because the software can restrict what a user clicks, whereas DOS often lets you type anything, leading to more manual mistakes, multitasking, and workflow. In DOS, if a teller is mid-transaction and a customer asks for a balance inquiry, the teller often has to exit the current screen entirely to check the balance of that customer. Okay. In Windows, teller can have multiple windows or tabs open. They can process a wire transfer in one window while looking up a customer's ID photo in another. You may know about few shortcuts of Windows, how to use Windows environment. Okay, so are few shortcuts to move on one window to another window. For that, you have to use Alter with the combination of tab. Okay, and a tab is given for forward movement and backward movements. If you want to move on backward side, you should have to use Alter, Shift, and then tab to move backward side. But when you are using a browser and you have to shift within the browser, then you can use another shortcut key. Keep in the mind that shortcut key is Control and Tab key. These two shortcuts are very important in Windows environment. Alter and Tab, Control and Tab. Try in your office or in the college how these types of shortcut key work. Integrating and reporting. In DOS, it struggles to talk to modern hardware. Printing a complex report or exporting data to Excel is a nightmare because DOS sees everything as a plain text. Okay, that time instead of Excel, there was a Lotus system. Lotus is command based Excel system. After that, Lotus DBase is there, then Foxbase is there, then FoxPro is there, and these types of new R&D is there, and now you can use Excel very much and very easily. In Windows, built to play nice with others, it easily integrates with digital signature pads, document scanners, and biometric devices. Generating a PDF or CSV file is a native function. What is PDF? Portable document format. And what is CSV? Comma separated file values, comma separated values. For security and stability. In DOS, interestingly, DOS systems are often considered stable because they are so simple. Then are fewer moving parts. To break, however, they lack modern encryption standard. In Windows, offers robust security layers, multi-factor authentication (MFA), and detailed audit log. Who did what and when means your log will be maintained, means which entry is entered or made by which employee, because every entry saved in the software with your login credential. Okay, so you will be responsible for any wrong entries entered by you. However, it is more susceptible to the malware and viruses mentioned in our previous chat. This is the most important benefit of DOS and Windows operating system. There were no threats of viruses in DOS means there were less threats of viruses, but in Windows, high threats of viruses. A note on legacy system. Many banks today use a core banking system that looks like DOS text based, but actually runs on a powerful Unix or mainframe backend. They keep the text interface because it is lightning fast for data entry compared to clicking through multiple Windows menus. We have always seen DOS operating system, Windows operating system, iOS is there for Apple computers and Apple mobile. Okay, but you may not know about Unix operating system. Okay, it's also command environment operating system, and later on this operating system also developed as Linux. Means Linux is the graphical environment of Unix. After that, Linux, Red Hat, Fedora, these types of software came, and mostly government organization used this Unix and Linux operating system. Why? Because of their open access, MOOCs, massive open access, totally free of cost. Okay, and Windows is you have to take OEM copy. So these types of differences we have seen in DOS and Windows software, which is used in banking system. Other example is the hospital ransomware attack, locking patient's record. Okay, means hospital management is a software which is always used in hospitals. Okay, to keep the record of all the patients, and it is really valuable for doctors. Okay, a manufacturing plant software bug halting production. Okay, means in a huge companies, all the data related to their manufacturing means operations are used on software. Okay, that is ERP software, enterprise resource package. Okay, and if it is get harmed by the viruses or bugs, so you should be not able to do anything. For that, you should have to take or purchase softwares, antivirus software. A cloud provider's breach, exporting clients' data. Why it matters? Financial impact. Technology failures can lead to direct losses, fines, or lawsuits. Operational disruptions. Downtime affects productivity and customer trust. Reputation damage, breaches or failures erode stakeholders' confidence. Regulatory penalties, that is, non-compliance can result in heavy fines and restrictions. Few aspects of technology risk and cyber risk. Scope in technology risk, all IT related risk, system data and infrastructure. And in cyber risk specifically from cyber attacks, means outside of the organization. Examples in technology risk, system outages, software bugs, compliance failures. In cyber risk, phishing, malware, and ransom. Aspect relation in technology risk, broader category. In cyber risk, subset of technology risk. Technology risk is about safeguarding IT systems and data to ensure business continuity and resilience. Sources of technology risk: system failure, hardware breakdown, network outages, server crashes, cyber security. We have already seen hacking, malware, ransomware, data breaches, phishing attacks. Yeah, since we have already seen obsolescence risk, a rapid technological change, outdated software or hardware implementation risk, failure in new system integration, ERP implementation failure, poor project management. Data risk, data losses, data corruption, inaccurate data processing. Third party technology risk, that is cloud service provider failure, vendor dependency. Yes, few companies always rely on another cloud-based services. That is, they keep their data on cloud services, means a data server which is far away from us, and they have taken the risk of our data. And if our data is damaged, the total risk will be on that vendor. So we we have to depend upon that vendor whenever he will not recover our data. Impact of technology risk: financial losses, business interruptions, loss of customer trust, legal and regulatory penalties, reputation damage, competitive disadvantages. Technology risk management measures: strong IT governance, IT policies, technology audits. Technology failure risk management: in the process of identifying, assessing, and mitigating risk that arise, then technology systems, infrastructure, or application fails to perform as expected. These failures can disrupt operations, cause financial loss, damage reputation, or lead to regulatory non-compliances. Causes of technology failures: hardware breakdown, server crashes, network device failure, or storage malfunctions. Software issues, bugs, coding errors, or incompatibility between systems. Okay, coding error is also issue which is done by our software provider, means our vendor. Okay, at the time of calculations with zero values or null values. Okay, human errors, misconfigurations, accidental deletions, or pure system maintenance. What's happened if our PC is not restarting or starting? What we do? We slap on the CPU. Okay, चालू हो जा, चालू हो जा. So we always slap on CPU. Okay, but this is not the proper system. Okay, few hardware engineer also do this method to restart the PC. Cyber incidents, malware, ransomware, or denial of service attacks leading to system downtime. External factors: power outages, natural disasters, or supply chain disruptions. Risk management strategies for technology risk, that is prevention, regular maintenance, and patching of hardware, software, redundancy, and failover systems to ensure continuity of one system fails. Access control and training to reduce human error. Detection: implement real-time monitoring tools, for example SIM systems, to detect anomalies. Use innovated alerts for system performance and security breaches. You should have to perform regular scanning in your PC. You should have to give few laws about not to use pen drives, outside pen drives. Okay. You should have to access all the data with the help of emails. Responses: establish a formal incident response plan with clear escalation paths. Maintain disaster recovery procedures to restore system quickly. Conduct post-incident reviews to learn from failures. Recovery, data, backup, and restoration policies with offsite cloud storage. Business continuity planning, BCP, to minimize downtime. Regular simulation exercises to test recovery speed and effectiveness. Example in practice: core bank system fails due to software. We have already seen. Benefits of effective technology failure risk management are reduced downtime and operational disruption, financial protection against losses and penalties, stronger customer trust through reliability, regulatory compliance with IT and data protection standard, access control, training awareness, update your hardwares, vendor risk management. Example of technology risk we have already given: bank system, data leak failure, ERP implementation failure. Another part is business strategy risk. Business strategy risk is the risk that arises from wrong business decisions, poor strategic planning, failure to adapt to environmental changes, ineffective execution of strategy. It affects the long-term objectives and survival of the organizations. Business strategy risk in risk management refers to the potential negative impact that arises when an organization's strategic decision plans or direction fail to achieve desired objectives or adapt to changing conditions. It is about the uncertainty and exposure to loss that come from choosing and executing a particular business strategy. The strategic nature of corporate risk management. Contemporary institutions are exposed to a variety of risk ranging from natural catastrophes and uncontrolled human behaviors to different strategic exposures that may hit the organizations in unexpected ways. This session describes partially by illustrative examples the diverse nature of the corporate risk landscape and how related exposures seem to increase. This session discusses how different approaches to risk management may enable corporate executives to deal more effectively with these important challenges. The relationship between positive risk management, outcomes, and performance is explored, and the question about uncovering an effective risk management models is developed. The nature of risk management: risks are everywhere, as evidenced by many corporate events reported in the popular press, including major corporate scandals around once venerable companies like the Maxwell Group, Baring Brothers, WorldCom, Enron, Farmland, and so on. We also witness a steady increase in man-made disaster around the world and even the emergence of mega catastrophes caused by willful human actions that have both direct and indirect economic effects. These developments have intensified our focus on corporate and public risk and the risk management processes that may be needed to circumvent the adverse economic impact from such events. All the while, we have seen a public risk perception aimed at reducing system errors, operational malfunctions, and uncontrolled human behaviors that affect the way in which we try to deal with corporate risk. Hence, corporate risk management has become an essential topic and arguably constitutes a new lens through which we may conceive corporate strategy level development, because poor risk management may lead to bankruptcy, whereas good risk management practices can excel corporate performance outcomes. Hence, risk management may be seen as a process that lets the organization achieve its full potential and gain optimal economic returns. Or to use strategy jargon, effective risk management may be seen as a way in which to create sustainable competitive advantages. Yet, we do not fully comprehend how the many complex managerial processes relate to strategic risk management practices. We have seen the introductions of formal enterprise-wide risk management frameworks that may help us contain specific exposures, but these approaches do not necessarily constitute sufficient conditions for effective risk management outcome. Indeed, the invention of operational risk as a concept may be trying to frame the unframeable. Hence, there may be too many aspects of risk that cannot be contained within simple formalized control systems. That is the importance of risk and the importance of strategic risk factors and related corporate responsiveness in increasingly turbulent market environments point to a need for an extended view of the risk management process, where risk events typically are conceived as hazards and dangers caused by identifiable triggers such as accidents, human errors, natural phenomena, etc. Conventional risk management seeks to reduce the potential for downside losses derived from such events. However, risk can also be interpreted as the volatility of performance outcome, in which case the risk management task is seen as the ability to remove possibilities for underperformance while being cognizant of the upside gains associated with emerging business opportunities. Hence, there is a strategic element to the risk management concept that should also consider the potential for new opportunities arising from dramatic changes in the business environment. And these may actually constitute some of the most important risk management concerns. While the nature of common downside risk events is well defined and accounted for in statistical records, many of the emerging operational and strategic risks are less precise and thus much harder to describe and predict. Much of the contemporary risk management literature is supported by calculable odds for identifiable risk events determined by analysis of objective historical records. However, true uncertainty arises when one is unable to determine the odds or even foresee the future risk events. There seems to be a trend towards higher uncertainty due to the emergence of new risks caused by terrorist acts, natural catastrophes, political events, path breaking, technologies, and continuous innovations. The significance of potential risk effects. Risk management as professional discipline is nothing new. The insurance industry has operated for centuries on the basis of practices that allowed economic entities with specified risk to obtain cover by diversifying the exposures across many insured parties through the intermediation of professional insurance companies. Similarly, there is a really nothing new to the various risk events we see play out today as they affect individuals, institutions, and societies. The history is replete with examples of accidents, operational disruptions, cases, political unrest, and market collapse, which all constitute incidents with adverse effect on business and economic activity. However, there may have been a change in the underlying causes of adverse risk events with increasing importance in new areas like technology risk, computer hacking, hyper competitive disruptions, mega terrorism, etc. The impact of these incidents has been further aggravated by increasing dependence on communications and information technologies and the chase for economic efficiencies in more tightly connected multinational business structures. The sheer magnitude of potential economic repercussions has brought risk management to a new level of attention as the public has witnessed the sometimes exorbitant personal gains derived from corporate fraud and excessive losses from extreme weather conditions, terrorist events, and so forth. As populations grow and business activities expand, the accumulations of economic assets also increases while the coupling between international economies intensifies as a consequences. The potential losses or economic assets caused by disruptive events also increase as an inevitable outcome of economic growth. All the while, there seems to be a general increase in the risk consciousness of modern society where economic and human losses experienced in yesteryear appear excessive under the current day. In other words, the public risk perception has become increasingly sensitized to the adverse consequences of potential exposures. The increased risk alertness has also affected politicians and lawmakers in their capacity to impose new legislation and rules that public companies must abide by, witnessed by the growth in regulatory framework and corporate governance guidelines. People are always reject few new amendments and come on the road for different types of strikes. Okay, to refuse the new acts or new amendments. There are few examples like changes in UGC, okay, and changes in the acts of agriculture field. But few state people rejected that acts and come on the roads for different types of strikes. Sources of business market risk, strategy risk. First is market risk, changes in customer preferences, decline in demand, entry of new competitors, competitive risk, aggressive pricing by competitors, innovations by rivals, regulatory risk, new laws affecting business model, for merger and acquisition risk, integration failure, cultural mismatches, high product risk, product failure, wrong product positioning, expansion risk, failure in a new markets, poor location decisions, technology disruption risk, digital transformations by competitors, obsolete business model, impact of business strategies, it declines in profitability, market share loss, brand damage, business failure, investor confidence loss, long-term sustainability risk, business strategy risk management measures, strategic planning and analysis, that is SWOT analysis, pestle analysis, scenario analysis. Second, risk-based decision making, risk-adjusted return analysis, cost benefits analysis. Three, diversification, product diversification, market diversification. Four, continuous market research, customer feedback, competitor analysis. Five, performance monitoring, KPIs, balance scorecard. Flexibility and innovations, agile strategy, innovation culture. Seven, strong corporate governance, board oversight, risk committees. Examples of business strategy risk are Nokia failing to adapt to smartphone. We know in the mobile section, Nokia was the first company. Nokia, Panasonic, these types of companies have launched that time black and white mobile phones, but in different types of R&D in technology, and that R&D is not adopted by this company. So Nokia's all the organizational activities are held and shutdown is in progress. In this way, Kodak is a company of camera to take photographs and to take video shootings. Kodak also not developed themselves. Yashica, Kodak, these are the companies of different types of cameras to shoot photographs as well as videos, and they have not changed themselves or integrated with the time. Okay, we know Bullet is also there. Bullet, Ambassador car, but Ambassador car not made new R&D. So Ambassador also in past tense. Okay, but what about Bullet? Bullet new versions are there available in the market. So most of the people are purchasing. Even girls are also interested to drive with Bullet. Okay, because of few movie hits. Blockbuster ignoring streaming technology, failed overseas expansions, wrong pricing strategy. Comparison shown technology risk versus business strategic risk. Role in enterprise risk management is shown. Both technology risk and business strategy risk are core components of ERM, integrated into enterprise-wide risk assessment, monitored using key risk indicators KRIs, reported to top management linked with business objectives. ERM ensures technology support strategy and strategy accounts for risk. Technology risk and business strategy risk are major components of enterprise risk in modern organizations. with increasing digitalizations and competitive pressure. Managing these risks effectively is essential for businesses continuity, competitive advantages, and sustainable growth. Enterprise risk management (ERM) provides a structured framework to identify, assess, and control these risks at the organization's level. Thank you. Today's session is over.